In a world where music and sports rarely collide on an equal level, one decision shook global entertainment and sent millions of fans into a frenzy. When FIFA chose BTS to represent one of the biggest stages in the world, people immediately asked the obvious question, why BTS? But then, another question quietly started taking over social media. Why were so many people talking about Jimin? Why did countless fans, media commentators, and even casual observers suddenly begin saying the same thing? That maybe, just maybe, there was something about Jimin that made this global partnership feel inevitable. No, not because BTS is not powerful as a group, not because the other members are not influential, but because there is something undeniably magnetic about Park Jimin. Something that transcends language, something that FIFA, a global institution built around emotion, passion, and worldwide connection, simply could not ignore. And when you really begin looking deeper into it, you start to understand why fans believe Jimin may have been one of the biggest reasons BTS became such an unforgettable global choice. Because here is the truth. FIFA has never been only about football. It has always been about emotion, hope, unity, passion, national pride, the ability to make millions, even billions of people feel connected at the exact same moment. And if there is one person who seems to embody emotional connection on a global scale, many fans would immediately point to Jimin. Think about it. Among countless performers in today's entertainment world, how many artists can make an entire stadium silent with one emotional performance and then seconds later make the same crowd explode with energy? That duality is something fans have always associated with Jimin. Grace and power, softness and intensity, elegance and charisma. For years, audiences across continents have watched him command attention without needing to shout for it. And somehow, no matter where BTS goes, cameras always seem to linger just a little longer on Jimin. Not because anyone forces them to, but because presence cannot be manufactured. And Jimin's presence, people feel it. Even non-fans notice it. From award shows to international appearances, journalists have repeatedly described him as magnetic, captivating, and impossible to ignore. There's something cinematic about the way he carries emotion, and that matters more than people realize. Because global events are not simply choosing celebrities anymore. They're choosing symbols, faces that represent connection, faces that can unite audiences from completely different cultures, faces that feel universal. And in many ways, Jimin has become exactly that. For years now, fans have watched him break records, dominate trends, and generate worldwide conversations with what sometimes feels effortless. A single airport appearance trends globally. A single stage moment becomes viral. A single emotional expression becomes a headline. And perhaps what makes this even more fascinating is that Jimin's influence often feels deeply emotional rather than purely commercial. People do not simply admire him, they feel connected to him. They feel comforted by him, inspired by him, moved by him. That emotional bond is something incredibly powerful, especially when you're talking about an event like FIFA. Because football fans are emotional, passionate, loyal, protective. Sound familiar? In many ways, fandom culture and football culture are not as different as people think. Both are built on passion, community, emotion, identity. And maybe that's exactly why BTS made sense. But why Jimin? Why did fans begin emphasizing his role so much? The answer may lie in something bigger than statistics, something harder to measure: global emotional resonance. Look at the way audiences react whenever Jimin performs. There's a reason so many iconic BTS moments somehow circle back to him. His stage presence feels theatrical, emotional, almost cinematic. Even people who know nothing about K-pop often stop and ask, who is that? And that question matters because global institutions notice recognition, they notice impact, they notice conversation. And Jimin has become someone who naturally creates both. Over the years, his performances have consistently generated viral moments that cross fandom spaces entirely. You don't have to be ARMY to know the impact of his artistry. You don't have to understand Korean to feel the emotion in his voice. You simply feel something. And maybe that emotional universality is exactly what global organizations value, because football fans are emotional, passionate, loyal, protective. Sound familiar? Not one language, not one demographic. It is the entire world. And artists who can emotionally transcend borders, those artists are rare. Jimin is often described as someone who communicates without speaking. A glance, a smile, a movement, a performance. Sometimes it feels like he says everything without saying anything at all. And if football is often called the universal language, could it be that Jimin represents a similar kind of emotional universality? Fans certainly think so. Across online communities, discussions exploded whenever BTS and FIFA became part of the same conversation. Some fans argued it was BTS's unmatched global popularity. Others pointed to their cultural impact. Many highlighted their history of representing Korea internationally. But then came another perspective, a quieter but louder emotional argument, that Jimin represented something especially meaningful, an emotional bridge, a performer who naturally draws people in regardless of language or nationality. And honestly, when you look at his influence, it becomes difficult to dismiss the idea entirely, because Jimin's power has never been loud. It has always been emotional, subtle, unexpected. The kind of influence that sneaks up on people. You think you are casually watching a performance, and suddenly you cannot look away. You think you are learning about BTS, and somehow you keep noticing Jimin. You tell yourself it is just curiosity, but then you find yourself watching another video, another performance, another moment, and suddenly you understand. There is a reason fans often call him unforgettable, because unforgettable is not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about leaving the strongest feeling behind, and Jimin has mastered that, time after time, stage after stage, country after country. Even beyond music, Jimin represents something modern audiences crave: authenticity. Despite global fame, countless fans continue describing him as humble, kind, and emotionally genuine. His personality feels human, warm, real. And for global institutions choosing representatives, relatability matters, connection matters, emotion matters. This is why so many people believe Jimin carries a kind of influence that numbers alone cannot explain. Of course, BTS as a whole is undeniably the reason behind their not one language, not one demographic. It is the entire world. And artists who can emotionally transcend borders, those artists are rare. Jimin is often described as someone who communicates without speaking. A glance, a smile, a movement, a performance. Sometimes it feels like he says everything without saying anything at all. And if football is often called the universal language, could it be that Jimin represents a similar kind of emotional universality? Fans certainly think so. Across online communities, discussions exploded whenever BTS and FIFA became part of the same conversation. Some fans argued it was BTS's unmatched global popularity. Others pointed to their cultural impact. Many highlighted their history of representing Korea internationally. But then came another perspective, a quieter but louder emotional argument, that Jimin represented something especially meaningful, an emotional bridge, a performer who naturally draws people in regardless of language or nationality. And honestly, when you look at his influence, it becomes difficult to dismiss the idea entirely, because Jimin's power has never been loud. It has always been emotional, subtle, unexpected, the kind of influence that sneaks up on people. You think you are casually watching a performance, and suddenly you cannot look away. You think you are learning about BTS, and somehow you keep noticing Jimin. You tell yourself it is just curiosity, but then you find yourself watching another video, another performance, another moment, and suddenly you understand. There is a reason fans often call him unforgettable, because unforgettable is not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about leaving the strongest feeling behind, and Jimin has mastered that, time after time, stage after stage, country after country. Even beyond music, Jimin represents something modern audiences crave: authenticity. Despite global fame, countless fans continue describing him as humble, kind, and emotionally genuine. His personality feels human, warm, real. And for global institutions choosing representatives, relatability matters, connection matters, emotion matters. This is why so many people believe Jimin carries a kind of influence that numbers alone cannot explain. Of course, BTS as a whole is undeniably the reason behind their global status. That part cannot be ignored. The group's chemistry, artistry, and global success changed music history forever. But fandom conversations are rarely only about facts. They're also about feeling. And many fans feel that Jimin embodies something uniquely global, a softness that resonates internationally, a performance style that feels universal, a charisma that somehow reaches people instantly. Maybe that's why discussions around FIFA became so emotional, because to many people, this was bigger than music. It felt symbolic, a global sports institution recognizing artists who moved the world emotionally. And for countless Jimin fans, that symbolism naturally led back to him, because if emotion